Hello and welcome everyone, it's Karen. I have made this video for Paper Rose Studios and today I'm playing with the Wedding Joy collection. So I'm just going to very quickly show you what's in this collection because it's beautiful. This first set here is the Wedding Joy Basic 6x6 cardstock, and as you can see it is double-sided. Beautiful, soft, floral kind of images. They're all in cream and green and a bit of dusty rose sort of colors with some more geometric patterns on the back. Now this is the deluxe collection. I have the silver foiled one, but you can also get this in a rose gold foil and a gold foil. And they're such fun designs. I don't think these have to just be for wedding for sure. You can color up on these, you can die cut with them. So, lots of different things that you could use these for. It could be birthday, possibly Christmas. And I am going to make a masculine birthday card out of this particular one that you see here now, but we'll get to that in a little bit. But I'm just quickly showing you the designs that you get. Now these are the Wedding Joy cut aparts. I think that these are extremely good value for your money. You get 3 sets of 6 sheets of different designs on each sheet. Now you do have to cut these ones apart, but it is very nice 300 GSM cardstock, so a nice thick weight for adding to your cards, your journaling, your scrapbooking, whatever it is, invitations that you're making. They're nice weight images and really quite fun. Some of those, like those balloons, could be birthday for sure. Lots of wedding, anniversary type images, but you could do more with these, I think. Now these are the embossed die cuts. These are in particular the tags and tickets collection. They are perforated, so you just have to pull those apart. There's usually 2 or 3 areas where they're attached per image, and they are embossed, so you can see that shine in the light. I think that these ones in particular, the tags and tickets, really good for scrapbooking or journaling perhaps, maybe for tags or invitations. And these are the embossed die cuts. Now, again, they're perforated, so you just pull these apart and pop them out. But because they're embossed like that, I find these such a great thing to use on your card making because it's a focal point already right there. You don't really have to do a whole lot more. You could frame it up in a circle or whatever, but really super easy for card making. So that's the collection. Now I'm going to go on. I've got a few examples of what I've done with these. My first one here, I've got a 5.5-inch square card base, and I've used this slimline heart border die across the top of it. So I've just cut the top off into that heart border. From some silver foiled cardstock, I have die cut a square frame, and I've got this piece of the silver foiled Wedding Joy paper to fit in behind that frame, so I'm just gluing them down onto my card front there. And then I have the Romeo layered heart die here. So from the outside layer I've cut it with silver foil, and then that inside one I just cut from white cardstock, and this is one of the cut aparts that I've mounted up on some foam tape, and I will put that in the middle. But I thought that the edges of the heart needed softening, so I'm using the Little Foliage 1 die set there. And from that one particular leaf, I've just cut a few of them in white and silver cardstock, and I'm going to put these around the outside of my heart just to soften those edges a little bit. So I don't have the heart glued down at that point. I was just tucking those leaves in underneath where the heart will go. And then I can wiggle this guy back in and kind of leave those leaves out surrounding it. And I've taken the release paper off the foam tape on the back of that image. And then this sentiment is from the new black and white card making sentiment sheet set, and it was just perfect at the bottom. Now on the inside I've added that extra that was a cut apart, and the same on the back, and I just thought that's made for a fun wedding card. Now with this card, I've used that silver foil deluxe paper. I ink blended on it. I lost some footage, so I apologize. But all I did is I took that particular piece of cardstock and did some, well, pretty messy ink blending on it. And then I misted it with some water and used a paper towel to sort of mop up, you know, the wet parts. And that's what I came up with there. So I've just trimmed that down to fit an A2 size card base. And from one of these Wedding Joy Basics paper on the back side, okay, this was hard because I do like that floral side. But this is going to be a masculine birthday card, so I'm going with the more graphic design. I just cut a circle from that and another one from white. I've mounted those together. Now, this is the layered happy die, and the birthday is from the black and white sentiment sheets again. So I've layered those up and glued them together, and I've taken this particular image from the embossed die cuts, that car, and that sentiment I just printed off on my computer. So I just thought that went together really well to make a kind of a fun masculine birthday card. So who knew? From that wedding collection to a masculine birthday card. Okay, so this card, it's a bit of a fun fold. I made this one off camera, but I'm going to show you how I made it. I'll make another example for you. So it just opens up and there's lots of room for a message on the inside there. And that's how that one went together. So it's pretty simple. It's just a couple of little folds there. It does stand up nicely and sort of separates out into layers. So to make that, I have a 5.5 inch tall by 11 inch wide piece of cardstock, and I'm scoring this at 1.5 inches, 3.5 inches, and at 5.5. So normally you would just score this at 5.5 inches, and that would be a 5.5 inch card base. So we've just added a couple of extra score lines. That's all we've done. So I'm folding this in half at the 5.5 inch score line, and I'm going to give that a good burnish. And then that inner fold line close to the center, you want to fold that out and away from the center of the card and burnish that. And then the last fold, we're going to fold back in towards the center and burnish that one as well. So that's how you get that stepped, layered kind of a look at the front. Pretty simple. Now I've got the alabaster white shimmer cardstock, and I just cut a few panels of this to fit those stepped up parts of my card. So I'll just glue those in place, and I love how that gives you that white on white sort of stripe look to the front there. Now that is the Byrony wreath die, and my circle dies again. I've cut 2 layers of white cardstock with the Byrony wreath and one from the white shimmer cardstock, and I will glue those together. And then this is one of the embossed die cut images, and I will just glue that. I'm going to tuck it down into the center of that Bryony wreath and make that the focal point of the front of my card. Now I use the larger of the nested hearts to die cut from one of these beautiful Wedding Joy Basics papers. I just wanted those leaves to sort of be up on the top, so I've cut it from there. And if you noticed, I cut a couple more hearts using the nested hearts die set, and you'll see them come up. I sort of missed out gluing them on for you, but with this heart, I'm sort of trying to position it in behind my circle, and I want to only just glue that left-hand edge. So I'm not going to glue that card shut. I'm just going to glue on the left side there. And the one thing I wanted to watch here was that I was trying to make sure that this got centered up within that 5.5 inch square. So I was sort of looking at that and trying to make sure it was roughly centered there. And then the Bryony wreath, I could attach glue only to the left side. So there's hardly any of that gets glued down, but it is staying down. It's working just fine. And I'm going to glue that so that you can still see the top of that heart. I like the heart shape, the top part of it, so I was sort of gluing this down a little bit lower. Now I've taken this sentiment from the black and white sentiment sheets again, and that is a cut apart that I've popped up on foam tape. And I've also added those little hearts down below, if you notice. So I was trying to make sure there that I had this hidden. I didn't want this to be showing from the front. I wanted it to be a bit of a surprise when you opened up the card. So that's all I was doing there. Now this is one of the embossed die cuts, and I'm just going to trim it off the top and bottom and mat it on some of that alabaster white, and again tuck it down so that it's hidden down below the heart. So as you open this card up, you get a few little different surprises. So there's a finished card. I just added a few gems to that, but as you open it, then you get the sentiment and the extra heart and flowers, and then another sentiment on the inside. So I thought that was kind of a fun fold. Here's a look at the first one. So basically, I reversed these. This one I had a circle at the back and just added a lot of the wedding images around it. And the one on the left, the heart is in behind and circle at the front. Now, I had a bit of the alabaster white cardstock left over, and I just thought this would make a perfect tag, because if you're going to a wedding, you probably have a gift and you need a tag. So I've just rounded the corners and punched a hole, and I'm just adding on some of these, I think these were cut apart images, and just trimmed off the excess, but honestly any of those images would work. Now I've cut 2 pieces of ivory colored ribbon, and I'm going to thread the center of those through my hole from the front to the back. You make a little loophole at the back and just pull the ribbons through that. And that just makes a very simple knot to go on the front of the tag there. You can just tighten all of those up. And then I just trimmed off the tops of them at a bit of an angle. So there's room to write on the back, and I just thought that was kind of a fun tag to use for a gift. I made a second one. Now this is a more masculine one, because maybe you're a friend of the groom, and so your gift is, going to be more masculine oriented possibly, but it was kind of fun to have the 2 of them. So I hope I've given you some inspiration, everyone. This is such a beautiful collection, and I do think you could use it for more than just weddings. So I hope you're all having a great day, and I will talk to you again next time. Bye.